when I start my practice in the morning, I just start in this position. And the legs are nice and straight, the spine is nice and straight, and I start by opening circulation into the hands and the feet. So I interlock my hands, and I make big circles with my hands around my wrists, and I roll my feet around my ankles at the same time. And then breathing in, roll the hands up. Try to keep your chin tucked in and bring the elbows closer together. Feeling the movement rolling up into the shoulders, all the way into the back of your neck. And then breathe out and bring the hands back down again. And then I like to sometimes also stretch into the arms and the legs. So after I've opened the ankles and the feet, and you see I'm using circular movement for all of it, then I lean into the lower back again. So I flex my feet, I push through the back of my palms, and I inhale the arms up and over the head. Really push through the feet as I push through the hands, and then as I push through the fingers, breathe out, circle, make some nice circles with your hands. And if you want, you can circle the feet a bit more as well. Circling outwards, like you're wrapping ribbons around your body. Just 2 or 3 times more. A nice deep stretch through the arms and the legs. So I start my stretching by always opening more circulation through the arms and the legs and into the hands and the feet, because your whole body will start to get warm as you open the longest nerves running through your body, which runs through the arms and the legs. One more time, inhale the arms up and over the head. Exhale back onto your hands. And then I go deep into opening the lower back. So just sitting back into your hands, turn your fingers in towards your body, point your toes and pull in your navel, and just try and lower yourself slowly into the hands. Just relax your shoulders forwards, keep your chin tucked in and tuck in your navel to support your lower back, and then shift your weight from one hand to the other. And then you can come up on the in-breath. I like to sometimes stretch all the way up through the arms again. And then I exhale back down into my lower back. And really pulling in the navel. The further you step your hands away, the deeper you feel the stretch. And you want to really massage into your sacrum and your tailbone area. It's a really beautiful, beautiful deep massage for this area of the body. And so after you've done this, I recommend doing each stretch maybe 5 to 7 times. Come back up on your in-breath, and we're going to start to drop into the hips. So from here, I open the legs and I bend the knees. And I just start to hinge the legs from side to side in pretzel pose. And you'll see when I teach, I use this as a transition movement between various postures. I often transition through the hips and the pelvis. So we've opened the lower back, and we've got quite a lot of energy running through the arms and the legs already. And now we go into opening the hips and the pelvis. So just doing this gently a few times. Try and turn your head away from your knees so you feel the twist all the way up into the side of your neck. Inhale through the center, exhale to the sides. And then after doing that a few times, I just come back into easy pose. And one of my favorite stretches is just sitting back into one hand at a time. So we're still working into the hips and the lower back. And just dropping back into one hand at a time. Your other hand can either just touch your opposite knee, or it can float across your chest. And sometimes you get a better kind of when you hold onto your other leg. So it's a very nice deep stretch into the hips and going into the sides of your body as well. And still opening the lower back more and more. So breathe out onto your hand, breathe in and straighten up, opening the chest again. And one time to each side is one round. So aim to do it 14 times so that you do it 7 times on each side. And then after this movement, I do sometimes, if my hips need a bit more, I will include this as well. Going even more into the sides, and you can either drop onto your hand or all the way onto your elbow, and just let your head drop to the side as well. So just side to side again. And another way of doing this side to side stretch is to just hold on to one knee and let the other arm go over the head. So again, there's lots of variations to opening up these parts of the body, and I'm not going to make it too prescriptive, because as you get more comfortable in your own practice, your body will inform you how it wants to move. Okay, and then from opening the lower back and the hips, we're going to roll over onto the hands and the knees, into the cat-cow. And in Shakti-Flow and Shakti-Dance, we do the spiral cat-cow, which is incredibly powerful. So please go very slowly with the spiral movement through your spine. If the spiraling feels too much, just do normal cat-cow up and down. Otherwise spiraling, and we're going to start slowly. So I'm going to demonstrate it slowly with the breath. So keep your fingers spread to support your wrists, hands right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips. Inhale, turning your head to the left side and pushing your left hip out to the side. And then as you breathe out, try and shorten the gap between your shoulder and your hip. Breathing in to lift your head up and push up the tailbone at the same time. Breathing out over the right shoulder. And as you hold your breath out, just try and push the elbow, the hip and the shoulder towards each other, and then exhale your head between your hands. That's a nice slow way of doing it. Now with one breath, inhale, turning to your left side, pushing out the left hip. And as you keep breathing in, lift up the tailbone and the head, breathing out to the other side. Okay, so you need to go very slowly with this movement. It's a full body spiral, and I recommend 3 times to each side, and then you change. On the out breath, you always change. So after you've gone down to your right side on the next out breath, stop and breathe in, changing directions. If you start to feel dizzy, which is quite common when you do this movement, slow down and open your eyes. Opening the eyes can really help dizziness, and dizziness is often just a release of energy through